This is Danny Calabrese.
I'm Tim O'Reilly.
And we are the creators of Ultimate Battle. And we have a little bit of a gameplay video that we want to show you. Clarify some things. So we've had a lot of really good support, really good questions about, how the disagreement cards work, how the gameplay works, what I'm allowed to do, what I'm not allowed to do. And we really hope that this clears a lot of things up for you guys.
Yeah, we'll just give you a sense of how to play the game.
So let's get right into it.
For multiplayer, this multiplayer game, you take the number of players plus 3 cards. So that's 7 cards each in this case with 4 players. Then your next step is you draw a little guy that represents you on the paper. It can be a stick figure, smiley face, ham sandwich.
And, it's just to represent you. It doesn't have any superpowers or anything like that.
Right. So then you start pulling, you pull a disagreement card to see who goes first. And so the first one was most pets. We had a tie. So then you just pull another one.
Right, but it's important to note that the people get eliminated. So basically, the people with least amount of pets were eliminated from that, and then the people with pets that are left then duke it out.
So there was another tie. So then you just pull another one. Shortest hair wins, which is Danny.
And I'm balding. So there you go.
So now, when you attack, or defend, you draw first before you say anything.
Right. It's your contract with the game. This way there's no backsies. Can't pull back any cards from it.
Right. You got to do your best idea that you can think of with the cards that you have. You draw it first, so that way, and then you show your cards and tell everybody how you're attacking.
So right now what I'm doing is I'm gluing everybody to the table. And then I'm using laser spiders. And then this is important because I'm able to use as many attacks at once, and I'm able to attack as many people at the table as once, or as little people at the table as once. And that's because I'm able to decide the amount of people I'm going to attack.
So now Kenny needs to defend. So he defended by making the spiders too lazy to attack. And then he used balloons to pull himself up and free himself from the glue.
Right.
And then once his defenses were successful, then he attacks with a T-Rex that shoots bees out of his mouth. And, he's drawn lines to show that he's attacking everybody with the bees.
Right. Now, he could have chosen to have an alliance with me and not attacked, and then we could have ganged up on somebody. I mean, that's really up to the player.
Right. You can do one person or everybody, whatever you want. So here's Teresa. She's defending herself by...
So now she has to defend against multiple things now.
Right. She's vacuuming up the bees.
Right.
And then she's killing the spiders and the T-Rex with her tridents. And then now she's attacking with clouds that drop cement blocks.
Right.
But she didn't do anything about the glue, so she's still glued in place.
Right.
So anything that you do stays in play until it's changed or destroyed.
Right.
By a player. So now I have to defend. I have to defend against laser spiders. I have to defend against bees. I have to defend against concrete blocks falling from the sky. So here I'm glued, but not to the ground. I'm glued to the back of a turtle, and the turtle is named Grease Lightning. So I'm dodging everywhere, dodging the blocks, dodging the bees, dodging the lasers. And now I'm attacking by trying to net everybody to the ground. So trap them and...
right, and he's saying that he's netting everybody to the ground and starving them to death. And it's important to note that you have to explain how you took the other player down.
Right, you don't just attack with a banana. You have to say what you're doing.
Right, you have slipped on a banana peel. You can't just say, I attack with a banana and I win. It doesn't work that way.
Right. So now Danny's defending himself here.
I'm cutting myself out of the net with a saw, and then I'm using this ice block to change the climate, causing the bees to go into hibernation and the cloud to dissipate using science. And nobody wanted to argue with me, and they should have, because it's terrible. Terrible
the cold logic. Made the clouds condense and move. Yeah, it's all right.
Right, it's all right.
But we bought
it. And, it's important that you try to make everybody buy everything that you do. Because if they don't, and they can say no, and then if everybody votes and says no, you're done. It's over.
Right. So now Danny's defended himself. Now he's attacking.
Right. So now I'm laying down some train tracks, and I'm putting everybody on the train tracks, and I'm going to roll over them with the train. So that's really, really easy attack. So then when it goes to Kenny, he has to get away from all of that. So this is important too. Like, Kenny's able to get away from all of that using one card. So he's using a bus here. And
right. Use 2 cards.
Oh, he's using dirty.
It's a dirty
bus. So he's able
like
to,
dirty
so
bus.
it's important to note that you want to be able to defend, ideally, with the limited amount of cards.
So he's hopping in a bus to avoid everything, and so at this point, I say no way you wouldn't be able to get on the bus because I would have been trapped in a net.
Right.
And so now this is how, like, you do your attacks, do your defenses, and you should discuss it first. Like,
right.
Did it work? Did it not work? And you have to justify your case. And it's only if you can't come to an agreement, if it really breaks down and you can't decide,
the group's decision.
You use a disagreement card to end the argument and get right back to the game.
Right.
So if you can't agree, then rather than keep arguing, you pull a disagreement card, boom, and that solves it. And get you going. But for that, we agreed. My net missed. He hopped on the bus before I hit him. So now he's attacking with tigers. And so the tigers look a little bit like bees. So that kind of illustrates that squiggles count. There's no extra points for artistic ability, no points for style.
Right. Now Teresa can't defend against because she's glued to the ground on the train tracks.
She's glued to the ground. She can't get out of the way. So Danny killed her with the train.
Right. So I get to take one of her cards. So I take one of the cards and I move on.
So X is over the eyes and Teresa's toast. So now it's my turn. I have to defend. So I crash a plane into the train tracks to derail the train.
And then after that, you're going to use...
So now I've got to defend against the tigers.
Right, so you can use oil to defend against the tigers, so it slips and slides all over the place and can't get to you. And then you're going to do attack now because that neutralizes everything. And then you're going to use this inanimate carbon rod to radiate everybody.
Right, so there's the radiation lines coming off of that.
Right. So then it goes to me, the best player. And then I am going to...
He has to defend against everything. So he's got to defend against the tigers, and he's got to defend against the radiation.
Right. So basically, what I'm doing here is I'm taking the meat and hammers that I have, and I'm taming the tiger with the meat, and then I'm going to ride it around, and then I'm going to take hammers and I'm going to chuck them at everybody.
That's the little T-bone in his hand.
I have a little T-bone there. He's going to throw hammers. So that Tim and Kenny both don't have any cards to defend with. And if you don't have any cards to defend with, you're done. There's nothing you can do.
Right, so Kenny's not dead because he ran out of cards. He's dead because Danny's attack is able to kill him, and he has nothing to do to defend against.
Right, and it's important to note that if Tim had cards left and they had an alliance,
bonk,
that he could have defended for Kenny. Anything really goes. It's
right.
your cards, you do what you want with them.
So I'm toast, X is over the eyes, and I'm dead. And Broken Glass Man is also dead.
Right.
And Danny wins.